Hello there everyone, and welcome to your weekly MTA plan work video for the Queens Subways and Long Island Railroad for the weekend of Friday, November 30th, 2018, and lasting until Monday, November 3rd, 2018. I quickly want to wish all my loyal subscribers and fans, and everybody's watching in general, a very happy Hanukkah, and especially how it's important to me is, of course, it is the first night of Hanukkah, coming up this Sunday, December 2nd at nightfall. If you want to see my embarrassing Hanukkah video, I will leave that in the card right now, or in the description below if you want to see it. To get back on topic, quickly want to thank Matt Camper last week for covering for me, because again, I don't trust my old computer that much anymore. I bought it with me to Maryland, and this other computer I'm using, I don't want to bring it with me because it's expensive, and honestly, I've already damaged 2 keys, but they still work, thankfully. But before I ramble on and on and on, thank you, Matt Camper. I appreciate you for covering for me last week when I was in Maryland. I promoted the video last week, and now I'm back with the usual headaches that the Queens Subways are going to deliver us this weekend. But I want to start this weekend's news with regards to the Long Island Railroad on a lighter note, and that is no planned work on the railroad this weekend. That's excellent for people who, again, are Jewish and want to go into the city for candlelighting service. There is, of course, JCCs and temples and Chabads and other synagogues in the city that will be participating in candle lighting on Sunday night. So, of course, you don't want to have impacted service, of course. And then, of course, I'm not too sure if this is correct. Somebody can correct me if they want to, but you have the Long Island Railroad's annual tradition of the Christmas train. So, the one that goes on the Ronkonkoma branch is a holiday tradition, and you don't want any planned work on the Ronkonkoma branch. That's for sure when that takes place, because a lot of people, they make it a tradition every year to take that train because they, of course, want to go sightseeing in the city, and or they want to plan to see the Rockefeller Center Spectacular with the Rockettes, of course, at Radio City Music Hall. So, obviously, in general, you don't need service changes during the holiday season, especially on the weekend when millions of Long Islanders are probably going to head into the city and, of course, enjoy the sights and sounds and take in on what the holiday season just has to offer. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to talk about the Queens Subways, and a lot of headaches are coming this weekend. And unfortunately, I have to report to you some work on the 7th. December 1st and the 2nd, 3:45 a.m. Saturday, 10 p.m. Sunday. Flushing Main Street bound 7 service for one express from Queensboro Plaza to 74th Street Broadway because of structural maintenance. For local service, you can transfer to a westbound train at 74th Street Broadway or transfer to the Q32 or Q60 buses. Quickly want to remind everybody, the Q60 bus runs between 52nd Street and Queensboro Plaza, and the Q32 bus runs between 82nd Street and Queensboro Plaza. And I do apologize, my tablet is the computer, so I apologize about that. So I just wanted to quickly bring up these notes, so that way, if you do want to transfer using your Metro card, you do have the option. Unfortunately, yet again, another weekend with partial M train service. November 30th, beginning at 8:15 Friday. Guess what? M service will end early between Forest Hills 71st Avenue and Bushwick Myrtle Avenue for a different reason. We have structural improvements. November 30th through December 3rd, 9:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. Free shuttle buses and or the J train will replace M train service between Delonte Essex Street and Bushwick Myrtle Avenue because of structural improvements. M service will run between Middle Village Metropolitan Avenue and Bushwick Myrtle Avenue. For service between Myrtle Avenue and Hughes Street in Brooklyn, you can take the J line. For service between Hughes Street and Delancey Essex Streets, you can use shuttle buses. How is the R train affected? Unfortunately, I have to talk to you about a lot of headaches on the R this weekend. November 30th through December 3rd, 9:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. Downtown R trains will skip 49th Street because of station improvements. For service to 49th Street, you can walk from Times Square 42nd Street or take an Uptown R train at Times Square 42nd Street. You can also do the same for the N and the Q as well. Actually, no, my bad. The Q does not stop at 49th Street, so you can do the same for the N. My bad. November 30th, 9:45 p.m. To 11 p.m. Friday. Only on Friday. And December 1st to the 2nd, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Brooklyn-bound R trains will be rerouted via the F from 36th Street in Astoria to 57th Street, 7th Avenue because of track maintenance. For Queens Plaza, you can take the E train instead. For Lexington Avenue, 59th Street, and 5th Avenue, 59th Street, you can use nearby 59th Street 456 station via transfer at Lexington Avenue, 53rd Street E, or 14th Street Union Square R. Transfer at Times Square 42nd Street Port Authority E or R train, or Roosevelt Avenue E or R train. How's the E train looking this weekend? Well, we have some news regarding the E train local service this weekend. November 30th through December 3rd, 9:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. Manhattan-bound E trains going to World Trade Center will skip 65th Street, Northern Boulevard, 46th Street, Steinway Street, and 36th Street because of track maintenance. For service to local stations, you can take an eastbound train at Queensboro Plaza. Also, I didn't put this in the slide. If possible, you can also take the Q... I'm trying to make sure I get this right. Yeah, now I remember. You can take the Q66 bus. I can confirm that. You can take the Q66 bus. Also, I'm quickly going to mention this right now for F train riders. I'll go into it as we go along here. There's a big headache coming. But if you're at 21st, if you need service to 21st Street Queensbridge this weekend, you can get off at Queensboro Plaza and take the Q66 bus. Which I'll get into that. Why we're going to talk about the F train. Right, we didn't talk about the F yet. I know I'm not going crazy because it's the winter time. I get nasal congestion and it's just giving me a headache today. Here we go, F train. I know I wasn't going crazy. November 30th through December 3rd, 11:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. Brooklyn Brown F trains will run local from 71st Avenue to 21st Street Queensbridge overnight because of track maintenance. November 30th through December 3rd, same time frame. Jamaica-bound F trains will be rerouted via the E after 47th Street, 50th Street, Rockefeller Center to Jackson Heights, Roosevelt Avenue because of track maintenance. To Lexington Avenue and 63rd Street, you can transfer via the Q at 34th Street, Herald Square Station. To Roosevelt Island and 21st Street, Queensbridge, you can take the F train to Roosevelt Avenue and transfer to a Brooklyn-bound F train. So that's one simple option. But again, the other option is taking the E train to Queensboro Plaza and then just transferring for the Q66 bus. From these stations, you can take a Brooklyn-bound F to 47 50th Street and transfer to a Jamaica-bound F train. 9:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday, November 30th through December 3rd. Downtown F trains will skip 14th and 23rd Street because of track maintenance, and I can confirm to you all as I'm recording this video, the 23rd Street F train station has reopened. On the N line, November 30th through December 3rd, 9:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday, downtown N trains will skip 49th Street because of station improvements. For service to 49th Street, you can walk from Times Square 42nd Street, or, like I said earlier, transfer to an uptown N train. Same time frame. Free shuttle buses will replace N trains between Ditmars Boulevard and Queensboro Plaza because of, guess what? Station improvements for 30th Avenue, 36th Avenue, and of course, Broadway. And service will run between Queensboro Plaza and Coney Island Stillwell Avenue. Free shuttle buses will make all end stops between Ditmars Boulevard and Queensboro Plaza. Transfer between trains and buses at Queensboro Plaza. Also, again, you can take the 7, but please keep in mind there is no special W train service between Whitehall Street and Astoria Ditmars Boulevard this weekend. Unfortunately, I have to talk to you all about the J line again. November 30th for December 3rd, 9:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. Free shuttle buses and or the 4, 6, and F trains will replace J service between Hughes Street and Broad Street in Brooklyn because of structural improvements. And I do apologize, everyone. I meant to say Broad Street in Manhattan. J trains will run between Jamaica Center and Hughes Street. So that's good news that people in that part of Queens are not going to get screwed. But the other people who want to go west of Hughes Street in Brooklyn, guess what? You have to transfer to a shuttle bus. The buses will run between Hughes Street and Delancey Essex Street. You can transfer between trains and buses at Hughes Street and or Delancey Essex Street on the F line. For service between Delancey Essex Street and Broad Street, you can use the 6 train to and from nearby stations via transfer at Bleecker Street, Broadway, Lafayette Street. You can transfer to and from the 4 train at Brooklyn Bridge. For service to and from Manhattan, you can use the A, C, or L trains via transfer at Broadway Junction. Good news for the A train, there is no planned work in Queens. And lastly, and this is very appropriate to do this weekend because the New York Islanders are finally back at their rightful home, Nassau Coliseum, this weekend, as they will be playing the few select games this season at the Nassau Coliseum. But I digress. November 30th for December 3rd, 9:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. Free shuttle buses will replace G train service between Nassau Avenue and Court Square because of station improvements. G train service will run between Church Avenue and Nassau Avenue. You can transfer between shuttle buses between Nassau Avenue. My bad, let me make sure I got this. Transfer between trains and buses at Nassau Avenue. Free shuttle buses will make all G stops between Nassau Avenue and Court Square. Now, I wanted to get to this because I'm very eager to talk to you all about this, and this is where I'll end this week's video on. All times beginning 5 a.m. Monday, December 3rd until December 31st, 2018. Church Avenue bound G trains will skip Greenpoint Avenue because of station rehabilitation. you can use a Court Square bound G train to complete your trip. And I quickly want to mention that I definitely now have to add this to my 2019 agenda, because after when I read this from the email, I was saying to myself, new station rehabilitation. Maybe I can do a summit at this station and show you what the station's going to look like. So that's something to consider for the 2019 agenda, of course. You can transfer at Nassau Avenue or 21st Street Court Square. Also, you can take the B43 or B62 bus to Nassau Avenue. So, on that note, that's going to wrap up this week's video. And again, I do apologize about my voice this week. I'm not sick or anything. It's just that, you know, it's always the winter. You can tell my nose is stuffed up, but I'm just so annoyed that, you know, with the winter, it always seems to affect my my nasal congestion. I don't like it, and if you all have to deal with it, you know, we're all on the same team, so that's where I'm going to wrap it up, because I really want to edit this and, you know, make sure you guys get the information properly. So, thank you all for watching. Until the next one, please take care.